your daily dose of news.
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about the destruction in Gaza and the status of the ceasefire deal. What's going on? Is a deal on the horizon? What's the latest? And what do we know about the discussions so far? We tell you all that you need to know in just a bit. And here's a look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. Iran has unveiled the Zagros, its first ever signals intelligence ship. We tell you all about the message that Tehran is trying to send out. The NATO has launched a new mission in the Baltic Sea to protect undersea cables. We tell you about the ripple effects. Cuddles are being offered to wildfire-hit people in Los Angeles. Not just cuddles, cat cuddles. We tell you more. This and much more coming up. Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about the war in Gaza. Israeli airstrikes continue to pound Gaza, leaving devastation in their wake. In the last 24 hours, Israeli forces targeted over 50 locations, including a former school-turned-shelter. As per reports, at least 62 Palestinians have lost their lives as a result of these Israeli strikes. Many of those killed sought refuge in the school, unaware that it would become a battleground. You see, these strikes come despite ongoing negotiations for a ceasefire. And as we get you the latest, the details, as we track them, The latest information we are getting at this point is that the Gaza deal is still being worked on. Meanwhile, with each passing day, the toll on Gaza is only growing. Since the war started in October 2023, over 46,000 Palestinians have lost their lives, around 110,000 injured. As you can see in these images, Palestinians are gathering belongings after the Israeli strike hit a residential building in Gaza. The Israeli airstrike on Gaza's Deir al-Balah killed and injured many Palestinians, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. These are images of bodies being taken to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital.
For the past 2 weeks, we have been following the news, hearing there will be calm or no calm. But the reality on the ground is entirely different. The reality on the ground is that every day brings more killings and destruction. Entire residential blocks and neighborhoods are being wiped out.
If they wanted to stop this war, they could have done so long ago. US has the power, and Arab countries have the ability to apply pressure and expel Israeli ambassadors. But instead, they watch as these people die with weapons supplied by the US. This is what America wants. It is an extermination. This is not a war. It is an extermination. This is a genocide. We ask God for calm to come soon.
You heard that. Palestinians in Gaza fear that the ceasefire remains elusive as casualties continue to mount. What is the status of the peace deal? In the latest developments on that front, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office denied that Hamas had agreed to the Gaza ceasefire proposal from Qatari mediators after various reports attributed an Israeli official stating that Hamas military leader in Gaza, Mohammad Sinwar, had given its approval. AFP had also reported that Hamas and Islamic Jihad have approved the ceasefire and prisoner exchange deal, attributing it to two Palestinian sources close to negotiations in Doha. In a statement, the Israeli Prime Minister's office, in fact, said that contrary to reports, Hamas has, quote-unquote, not yet returned its response to the deal. US President Joe Biden and the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi reportedly urged both Israel and Hamas to reach an agreement, while officials from mediators Qatar, Egypt and the United States said that an agreement for a truce was closer than ever.
All is now in Hamas's court. If Hamas accepts, the deal is ready to be concluded and implemented. I believe we will get a ceasefire.
Hamas officials told Reuters late on Tuesday that the Palestinian group had not yet delivered its response because it was still waiting for Israel to submit maps showing how its forces would withdraw from Gaza. The US Secretary of State clarified that Israel will ultimately have to make concessions in the post-war scenario towards reuniting the West Bank and Gaza under a Palestinian Authority.
Israelis must decide what relationship they want with the Palestinians. That cannot be the illusion that Palestinians will accept being a non-people without national rights. 7 million Israeli Jews and some 5 million Palestinians are rooted in the same land. Neither is going anywhere. Israelis must abandon the myth that they can carry out de facto annexation without cost and consequence to Israel's democracy, to its standing, to its security.
But Blinken's speech was marred by heckling and yelling by protesters. Videos showed a protester yelling towards Blinken, stating that he will forever be known as, quote-unquote, Bloody Blinken Secretary of Genocide. Take a look.
People on your hands, we have spent a
Thank you.
year.
I respect your views. Please allow me to share
trying
mine. Thank you.
Appeal to your humanity in front of your house. We've written you letters. We've held car rallies. The blood of innocent civilians, of children, is on your of innocent people on.
She further accused the United States of complicity in Gaza's suffering. Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, thousands gathered, hoping and praying that a long-awaited deal for the release of the hostages is finally nearing.
Actually, I'm afraid right now, because right now the deal is not sealed. I'm waiting for the deal to be sealed. I mean, from Israel and from the Hamas. And I'm afraid that each minute that is passing, it might ruin this deal. And I hope that it's not going to be ruined.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, hundreds of hardliners marched calling for the war to continue, underscoring how divided Israelis really are regarding the ceasefire. At the moment, Gaza continues to burn. How long will the people of Gaza and Israel endure the relentless cycle of violence? We cannot say for sure at this point. Shifting focus for now, Russia has called for the expansion of Quad on Afghanistan to include India. The Afghan Quad currently includes China, Pakistan, Iran and Russia. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in fact says that it is important to strengthen trust within the SCO, within the format that is currently working on Afghanistan. Lavrov said Russia is confident that the inclusion of India would be the right step. He also said that in the new format, India, Pakistan and China would have an opportunity to communicate and better understand each other's differences.
What is more important is to strengthen and build confidence inside SCO and within the Afghan format, the current Afghan format, Russia, China, Pakistan and Iran. We are certain that engaging India would be the right thing to do.
The current Afghan Quad last met in November 2024 on the sidelines of the UNGA. Iranian Foreign Minister, the Chinese Foreign Minister, the Pakistani Defense Minister and Lavrov were present at the meeting. The meeting called for the support of Afghanistan's national sovereignty, political independence, unity and territorial integrity. Terrorism was another key issue that was discussed, with the joint statement expressing concern over the security situation related to terrorism in Afghanistan. Earlier, SCO had an Afghan contact group which had all members, including India, but the group became defunct since Taliban assumed power in 2021. The comments by Lavrov are significant as they come at a time when New Delhi has upped its engagement with the Taliban government in Kabul. Earlier this month, the Indian Foreign Secretary, Vikram Misri, and Acting Foreign Minister of Afghanistan had met in Dubai. India also opened its technical office in Kabul in 2022. And has since then engaged with the Taliban government in Kabul despite not recognizing it. Iran has added a whole new dimension to its naval power. The Zagros, Iran's first ever signals intelligence ship, and this is not just another addition to the fleet, it's a message. A strong signal about Iran's strategic ambitions. In fact, the Zagros is no ordinary vessel. According to reports, it's armed with advanced electronic sensors capable of intercepting communications, monitoring cyber operations and gathering intelligence. As per the local reports, Iran's Navy commander, Rear Admiral Shehram Irani, described the ship as, quote-unquote, the watchful eye of Iran's Navy in the seas and oceans. Further highlighting its significant role in maritime surveillance and electronic warfare, The unveiling you see comes just days after Iran's army added 1,000 domestically produced strategic drones to its arsenal. The unmanned aerial vehicles were reportedly distributed to combat units across various regions of the country and have an operational range exceeding 2,000 kilometers and are equipped with advanced features including high destructive power, low radar detectability and autonomous operation without external control. The drones are intended for special missions and are expected to enhance the military's capabilities in reconnaissance, border surveillance and combat. Iran, meanwhile, is reportedly also currently undertaking a massive 2-month military exercise. And these drills reportedly include scenarios where Iran's Revolutionary Guards defend key nuclear sites like Natanz against simulated drone and missile attacks as efforts to maintain and improve military preparedness against potential threats. In October last year, Iran's government had stated plans to increase the military budget by 200%, underscoring the country's intent to counter potential threats from Israel, the US, other regional adversaries. So the Zagros represents more than just technological advancement, you see. It symbolizes Iran's growing confidence. Built entirely with domestic expertise, this ship is reportedly designed to operate in regional waters and beyond. Equipped for combat and intelligence missions, it reportedly even features a helicopter hangar, expanding its operational reach. By strengthening its naval fleet, the country aims to secure trade routes, protect its oil tankers, and challenge maritime dominance in West Asia. An edge Iran has aimed to keep ever since the war in Gaza broke out in October 2023. Through its close ties with the Houthis in Yemen, in fact, Iran has managed to maintain pressure in the Red Sea. The Houthis, remember, have attacked numerous US and Israeli-linked tankers and ships passing through the area. Besides this, last October, Iran also held military exercises with Saudi Arabia and other countries in the Sea of Oman. The two countries reportedly are also planning to engage in joint military drills in the Red Sea. The development held importance as these West Asia rivals supported opposing factions in conflict areas throughout the region and cut off diplomatic ties earlier and reconnected in 2023. Through an unexpected deal mediated by China. These series of developments perhaps reflecting the message that Iran is sending out to countries in West Asia and the world that it is ready to protect its interests, assert its dominance and challenge adversaries. Zagros is just a part of that broader quest. The Russian forces are making a push to capture key Ukrainian towns in Donbass ahead of Donald Trump's return to the White House. Fierce fighting has been taking place on the battlefield, with both sides stepping up offensives. Russian forces have reportedly taken control of 2 settlements in the past day. It also claims to have carried out strikes on Ukrainian ammunition depots, electronic warfare base stations, artillery and other targets. Russian air defense forces claiming to have intercepted American-made ATACMS, British-made Storm Shadow missiles, HIMARS rockets, hundreds of drones. On the same day, in fact, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported that as of Tuesday, its forces had engaged in dozens of fights with Russians in the frontline areas. The most intense fighting is said to be taking place in Pokrovsk, a key Ukrainian stronghold. Pokrovsk is located in Donetsk and the Russians have their eyes on it. For months, Russian troops have tried to encircle Pokrovsk. It's also the latest Ukrainian city caught in the death grip of Russian forces. Now, according to war monitors, the Russians are planning to cut off land supply routes to Pokrovsk to force Ukrainian troops to retreat. You see, Russian advances in Pokrovsk will significantly worsen the situation for Ukrainian forces. It will complicate logistics and hinder the ability of Ukrainian forces to resupply and redeploy troops. The capture of Pokrovsk would enable Russian forces to advance towards the administrative border between Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk. More importantly, the loss of Pokrovsk would open the doors to one of Russia's main war goals, that is the capture of the Donbas region, and the rate at which Russia has made territorial gains in Donetsk, despite a surge in Western military aid for Ukraine, raises concerns about a potential Russian breakthrough. As far as Ukraine is concerned, they are putting up a strong fight. On Tuesday, Ukraine's military has claimed its largest air attacks yet on Russian territory since the start of the war nearly 3 years ago. It launched a large-scale missile and drone attack overnight. While the Russian military said most of Ukraine's projectiles were shot down, the Russian cities of Saratov and Engels were reportedly hit with some damage caused to factories in the area. Ukraine attacked the same region last week as well. They struck an oil depot which served as an airbase for Russian bomber planes. Outgunned and outnumbered despite Western help, Ukraine is trying to disrupt Russian command and control in order to slow down Russian assaults. However, without more troops and military aid, the Ukrainian military will not be able to hold on for too long. Next week, the US will have a new administration, which means that there will be a reinvigorated push for peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Remember, Trump has vowed to end the Ukraine war, and with that in mind, it appears that the Russians are trying to capture as much territory as possible, especially in the Donbas region. Control over the territory, after all, will be a great leverage for Russia in potential negotiations. NATO has launched a new mission in the Baltic Sea to protect undersea cables. On Tuesday, NATO launched its patrol and surveillance operation called Baltic Sentry. The NATO Secretary General has said that the operation will include frigates, maritime patrol aircraft, submarine satellites, remotely operated vehicles, and a small fleet of naval drones. Before we tell you more, let's just play out for you what he said.
Today, I can announce that NATO is launching Baltic Sentry. Under the authority of NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, General Kishkavoli, this military activity is part of our ongoing effort to enhance maritime presence and monitoring of key areas for our alliance. It will involve a range of assets, including frigates and maritime patrol aircraft, among others, and will enhance our vigilance in the Baltic.
The military alliance says that the aim is to protect critical infrastructure in the Baltic Sea region bordering Russia. You see, after several breaches to undersea cables, European authorities are on high alert. Baltic Sentry will basically boost NATO's presence in a region already on edge. Leaders of Baltic countries, along with the NATO chief and other European officials, met in Helsinki on Tuesday to agree on ways to boost security. In late December, Finland seized an oil tanker linked to the damage of a power cable connecting Finland to Estonia. The same incident also, by the way, involved damage to several telecom cables, deepening fears of potential sabotage. Amid a series of mysterious undersea disruptions, NATO officials have pointed fingers at Russia, accusing Moscow of a coordinated campaign against NATO. They say that Russia is carrying out these attacks because of the NATO's continued military support for Ukraine and stringent sanctions against Moscow. What does Russia have to say to all of this? Moscow has already denied involvement in any such plot. Moscow has called NATO's accusations absurd, quote unquote. In last month's incident, Finland did not directly blame Moscow for the damage, but European authorities have said that they suspect the tanker that was seized is part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, a group of ships carrying Russian oil products that are under Western embargo. European authorities say that Russian ships have caused the damage by dragging its anchor across the seabed. As far as Finnish authorities are concerned, they said they believe the captured vessel would have caused more damage if the police had not boarded it when they did. And they have also banned some of the crew from traveling. A few weeks earlier, in November, an underwater communications cable connecting Finland and Germany was also cut. At that time, Germany had described it as suspected sabotage. Damage was reported to a separate internet cable linking Lithuania and Sweden. Remember, leaders of Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, have been very vocal about their fears about Russia. Baltic states basically worry that they will be the next target of the Kremlin and the very bombs and missiles used to level Ukrainian cities. While NATO leaders have increasingly warned of a Russia-linked sabotage campaign, recently European leaders have been hesitant on what their response should be. It's because they fear further escalating tensions with Russia. But officials in Baltic states bordering Russia have pressed for greater action. And now that they have launched Mission Baltic Sentry, they have warned Europe to brace for more sabotage attempts in the future, with the Finnish president saying, quote unquote, get used to the new normal.
We're only a couple of hours into the information that we got, so I think it's too early to say, but I guess the conclusion that we can draw is that get used to the new normal. These kinds of things will happen in the future as well. And the good news here, of course, is that when it happened a year ago, the ship left the Baltic Sea. When it happened a month and a half ago, we were able to board but not to confiscate. When it happened 2 weeks ago, we confiscated. So we live and learn.
Shifting focus now to India. Today, the Indian Navy has got a major boost, and it has come in the form of 3 advanced naval vessels. I'm talking about INS Surat, INS Nilgiri, and INS Bakshir. 3 powerful vessels that will add major firepower to India's naval might. Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissioned the 3 vessels at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai, equipped with state-of-the-art equipment. These advanced naval assets mark a significant milestone in India's defense capabilities. And here's all you need to know about the warships.
आज भारत की समुद्री विरासत नेवी के गौरवशाली इतिहास और आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान के लिए भी बहुत बड़ा दिन है। ये पहली बार हो रहा है जब एक डिस्ट्रॉयर, एक फ्रिगेट और एक सबमरीन तीनों को एक साथ कमीशन किया जा रहा है।
Starting with INS Surat. It's a stealth-guided missile destroyer known for its speed and cutting-edge technology. In fact, it is one of the world's largest and most sophisticated destroyers. An indigenously built frontline warship, INS Surat is a successor to the Kolkata-class destroyers. But what sets it apart is the fact that it is the Indian Navy's first AI-enabled warship. You heard that right. INS Surat's indigenously developed AI will basically greatly increase its operational efficiency. That's not all. INS Surat allows for the operation of a vast range of helicopters, including Chetak, ALH Sea King, and the MH-60R. Both day and night operations can be conducted on the destroyer. Finished within 31 months, INS Surat is the fastest indigenous destroyer ever built. Next up, INS Nilgiri. It is also an indigenously constructed frontline warship and a stealth frigate. INS Nilgiri is a modern frigate equipped to handle multiple threats simultaneously, which makes it a versatile asset. The frigate was designed by the Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau. It is included in the list of the best ships in the world. It has advanced weaponry and systems, including 8 BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, a vertical launch system for surface-to-air missiles, a 76mm gun, and an AK-630 close-in weapon system. If that wasn't enough, this versatile and advanced modern frigate is equipped with the MF Star radar. It means that it can take on enemy submarines, surface warships, anti-ship missiles, as well as fighter aircraft. Just like INS Surat, INS Nilgiri also supports a wide range of helicopters, including MH-60R Seahawks. Nilgiri is designed to operate in a blue water environment, which means it is capable of addressing both conventional and unconventional threats within India's maritime domain. The ship can operate independently without requiring support from other vessels, and it's also capable of serving as the flagship of a naval task force. Next is INS Vakshir, a Scorpion-class submarine perfect for underwater warfare and stealth operations. In fact, it's already being referred to as a hunter-killer submarine. It's a diesel-electric submarine, which is the 6th and final Scorpion-class submarine under Cavalry-class Project 75. Remember, Project 75 is an Indian project that is aimed at building 18 conventional submarines and 6 nuclear-powered submarines for the Indian Navy. And here's an interesting fact about INS Vakshir. It is among the most noiseless and adaptable diesel-electric submarines in the world. The INS Vakshir is designed to handle a wide range of missions, including anti-surface warfare, anti-submarine warfare, intelligence gathering, area surveillance, special operations. It comes equipped with wire-guided torpedoes, anti-ship missiles, and cutting-edge sonar systems for superior performance. Its modular construction allows for seamless future upgrades like the integration of air-independent propulsion technology. In addition to its advanced stealth capabilities, INS Vakshir has a hydrodynamic design that reduces noise and magnetic signatures, enhancing its ability to operate undetected. And with the arrival of these 3 major assets, the Indian Navy is poised to strengthen its maritime presence and act as a deterrent against potential adversaries, particularly China, which has been expanding its naval presence in the Indo-Pacific. In addition to helping India maintain a balance of power in the region, the commissioning of the 3 vessels shows that the Indian Navy is ready to exert a greater role as a maritime power. Our next story is about someone who looks somewhat like Donald Trump and has become quite a star. This story comes from a district in Pakistan's eastern Punjab province. Meet Salim Bagga, a local food vendor there. Locals say he bears an uncanny resemblance to US President-elect Donald Trump and hence gets a lot of attention. He is in fact also known for his singing, which he uses as a way to attract customers. He sells kheer, a famous dessert. Customers click selfies with him and he reportedly enjoys the process. In fact, a local resident reportedly said he feels as if Trump has come to sell the dessert himself. A local resident also who took a selfie with the man said, "The kheer is really delicious and that they take selfies with him and tell friends that they have taken these pictures with Donald Trump. Clearly, Bagga is quite a star there and is loving the attention. In fact, he has a message for Donald Trump that now he has won the US election, he should visit and eat the kheer that he sells and promises Trump will enjoy it. Well, what can we say? The proof is in the pudding. And for all you fans of kheer, I'm sure you're craving some right now. Shifting focus for now, a Chinese state-backed malware believed to have infiltrated millions of computers has been mass deleted from thousands of US computers. The cleanup was basically part of a joint operation between the US Department of Justice and the FBI. The malware, known as PlugX, had infected several million computers globally. The US believes the malware was planted by a China-backed hacking group known as Twill Typhoon or Mustang Panda. The DOJ disclosed that a court-authorized operation allowed FBI to delete PlugX malware from over 4,250 infected computers. As per the FBI findings, the PlugX malware is installed through a USB port and has been in use since 2014. Once installed, it allows hackers to access the user's device, resulting in information theft and remote control of compromised devices. Some other targets of the malware include Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, India, Pakistan. Twill Typhoon joins a growing list of Typhoon-monikered Chinese state-sponsored hacking groups. Other known Chinese hacking groups are the Volt Typhoon and Salt Typhoon. The backlash and social media storm raised by the ad on the resumption of Pakistan's state-run PIA to Paris has prompted Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to step in now. The social media post was criticized online due to its resemblance to the 9/11 terror attacks in the US. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has ordered an investigation now into the controversial advertisement. The Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar criticized the post, saying, and I'm quoting, "It's stupidity," quote unquote. The advertisement featured a PIA plane near the Eiffel Tower with the tagline, "We are coming today," which Senator Sherry Rahman argued misrepresented the airline's intentions. Ishaq Dar confirmed that Prime Minister Shehbaz had instructed an investigation into the matter, emphasizing the misleading nature of the campaign. The development comes days after PIA resumed flights to Europe, with a flight to Paris taking off on Friday last week. This after a 4-year ban from the European Aviation Safety Agency was lifted late last year. Remember, it suspended the PIA's license to fly in the EU for 6 months in July 2020. Then Pakistan Aviation Minister Ghulam Sarwar Khan had alleged that a large number of active pilots were suspected of acquiring their licenses through dubious means. The US Securities and Exchange Commission has filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk. The regulator has accused him of violating federal securities laws during his acquisition of Twitter, now known as X. According to the SEC, Musk failed to disclose his ownership of more than 5% of Twitter's shares by the required deadline in March 2022. The delay, regulators allege, allowed Musk to continue purchasing shares at artificially low prices, saving him at least $150 million. Musk's eventual full acquisition of Twitter in October 2022 cost him $44 billion. But the SEC claims his actions undermined market transparency and fairness. The SEC's investigation, authorized in April 2022, revealed that Musk began buying Twitter shares in early 2022 and crossed the 5% ownership threshold by March. By law, he was required to disclose this by March 24, but he delayed it until April 4, 11 days past the deadline. During this period, Musk allegedly spent over $500 million purchasing additional shares at suppressed prices, benefiting from the lack of public knowledge about his significant stake. The lawsuit comes as part of a broader investigation into Musk's actions, including his SEC filings and public statements related to Twitter. The SEC's lawsuit has sparked strong reactions, with Musk's attorney calling it a sham and accusing the agency of harassment. This is not Musk's first clash with the SEC, which has previously investigated him and his brother for alleged securities fraud and insider trading. Adding a political dimension, Musk's close ties to President-elect Donald Trump and his role in a newly proposed government advisory group may influence the future of the case. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill banning transgender athletes from competing in girls' and women's sports in schools, universities receiving federal funding. The bill, called the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act 2025, passed the House with a 218 to 206 vote. The bill, however, faces an uncertain future in the U.S. Senate with a 53 to 47 majority. Republicans would be able to bring the bill up for a vote, but may not be able to pass it given the chamber's rule that requires 60 members to agree on most legislations. It's unclear if any Senate Democrat would support the bill. The bill defines sex as based solely on a person's reproductive and genetics at birth, meaning students assigned male at birth who have since transitioned their genders would not be eligible for athletic competition. The bill permits transgender women to practice and train with women or girls athletics so long as no female is deprived of opportunities. Republicans hammer Democrats on transgender rules, on transgender issues, beg your pardon, especially when it came to youth and sports ahead of the 2024 election, capitalizing on a broader culture war over LGBTQ rights. President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to end transgender lunacy. Today is day 3 of the Maha Kumbh festival. The sacred confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati rivers, Triveni Sangam, is attracting millions of devotees. Our special correspondent Johan Castell, who is on the ground, getting you this report.
We are on the ground in Prayagraj right now for day 3 of the Maha Kumbh Mela festival. On day 1, there were 17 million people who attended. On day 2, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, stated that 35 million people attended for the first Amrit Snan, or royal bath. Today is day 3, so we are in the juicy area right now to hear what people have to say about it. Divyansh. So, Divyansh, how are you finding Kumbh Mela? How is it here?
It's good and it feels like I'm in a spiritual place.
Yeah? You had a lot of fun today?
Yeah, I have fun today.
Yeah. Did you go to the bathing ghat yesterday?
Bathing?
Did you go for dipping in the Triveni Sangam yesterday?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I got there.
How was it? Was there a lot of people there?
Yeah, but not like... But yesterday there were a lot of people there, but not today.
Oh, you went there today also, but there was no people there.
No, there were few people, but there were... I just put my hand and legs today, but I bathed yesterday.
Oh, yesterday you went dipping on the auspicious day.
With my family.
Your whole family went inside.
Yeah.
विश्व में शायद किसी भी शहर में इतनी जनसंख्या नहीं होगी जितनी यहाँ पर। ये हमारे भगवान की कृपा से इतनी यहाँ पर जनता इकट्ठी है। विश्व का सबसे बड़ा शहर बना हुआ है हमारा प्रयाग कुंभ, और भगवान की बहुत असीम अनुकंपा है कि हम सभी लोग बहुत आनंदित हैं और बहुत ही खुश हैं।
My first feeling in my life, because so very different in Japan, culture and religion. And history of people, fashion, more everything is different. Because I want to see Kumbh Mela, because come to Kumbh Mela, and so my most impact in my life in Kumbh Mela.
There you have it.
What do your spending habits say about you? Your money habits are not all that random. In fact, they could reveal a lot about your past, according to experts. Our next report telling you more about this.
Experts say your money habits aren't just a numbers game. They are shaped by the silent whispers of your childhood. Scientific research shows that our early experiences carve out the psychological pathways that influence how we save, spend, and even stress over money today. Think back. Did your piggy bank feel perpetually empty, or was it overflowing with allowance? Growing up in scarcity can lead to a never enough mindset. Even when you have struck gold as an adult, you might struggle to spend guilt-free, stuck in a cycle of hoarding. On the flip side, those who have climbed the economic ladder often go on a spending spree, trying to buy the childhood they missed out on. But money's grip on your mind doesn't stop at scarcity. Ever splurged after a bad day or dodged budgets like they are boring therapy sessions? Experts claim these behaviors could be rooted in emotions like guilt, anxiety, or even a sneaky fear of independence. Self-sabotage, they say, often masks deeper feelings we haven't yet unpacked. The fix? Face your financial fears with curiosity, not judgment. Identify the habits holding you back and ask, what am I really feeling here? If late-night online shopping fills a void, experts suggest you find something healthier to plug that hole. If generosity feels like a shortcut to approval, explore why. Rewiring your money mindset isn't easy, but it pays dividends. A little introspection could be the key to flipping those emotional coins and finally achieving harmony between your mind and money. After all, it's not just about what's in your wallet, it's about what's weighing on your mind. Business Bureau, WION World is One.
When it comes to the potential of a mouse, one should not underestimate the capabilities of the little creature after all. We have seen that being portrayed in movies. How about in real life? The brain of a mouse has come into renewed focus. In fact, researchers are gaining an unprecedented view into mice brains with the help of miniature VR or virtual reality headsets. As per reports, the headset, developed by researchers at the Cornell University in New York, could help reveal how their brain navigates and controls memory functions. And why is this important? Because it is connected with potential treatment of Alzheimer's in human beings. Dr. Matthew Isaacson, a postdoctoral researcher and the study's co-lead author, has said that he was skeptical of the process initially, as he suspected that many would either dismiss the concept of a VR headset for mice as either bizarre or render it pointless. But from a medical point of view, Isaacson hoped that this study would highlight experimental powers of neuroscience. You see, by unblocking tiny capillaries and increasing blood flow, researchers have reportedly shown that memory function in mice improves within hours. And if the same technology can be applied to human beings, scientists hope that it could make major breakthroughs in diseases related to memory functions like dementia and Alzheimer's. But how was this trial even conducted? Well, a mouse was positioned to stand on a treadmill, its head fixed in place, while it peers into a pair of eyepieces, the VR sunglasses. Why was that necessary? This setup allowed researchers to image the mouse's brain activity.
In the goggles, it's very immersive, and it seems like they can really be tricked into thinking that this is a realistic situation. Like, for example, we had an experiment where we showed a looming visual stimulus to an animal with the VR goggles.
Not just that, as per the study's authors, the same pair of VR goggles can be used to map brain activity in all kinds of mammals. In 2023, Northwestern University researchers had developed VR goggles for mice, which provided more immersive experiences for mice living in laboratory settings, allowing researchers to study the neural activities more closely. However, the reason why this new research stands out is because it zooms into research around Alzheimer's. Early symptoms of Alzheimer's include forgetting recent events or conversations. However, over time, Alzheimer's disease leads to serious memory loss and can even affect a person's ability to carry out everyday tasks. In advanced stages, it can even lead to loss of brain function and even death if things go out of hand. Such studies and trials thereby are extremely important and can have significant impact as far as Alzheimer's research is concerned. Do you enjoy cuddles? We know they can heal, make you feel better. In fact, a cat cafe in Los Angeles is offering free 15-minute cat cuddling sessions to help people affected by the ongoing wildfires and to help them relieve their stress. Crumbs and Whiskers rescues cats and kittens from euthanasia at high-kill shelters and houses them in their cafe, where they basically encourage people to play with them to make them more friendly and adoptable. Take a look.
Yeah, so as you can see, we have some very sweet kitties in here, and it can just be a really peaceful and de-stressing experience to come hang out with the kitties. It's also just a great way to get people's minds off of what's going on at the moment in LA, and it's a great way to help socialize our kitties, so we really appreciate people who come in and hang out with them.
And on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others cream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
The biggest gathering of humanity on the planet.
This is quite an interesting spot.
WION brings you exclusive coverage from the ground of the Maha Kumbh Mela.
These bikes will be patrolling all around.
From security to infrastructure. From tent city to Sangam. We've got you covered. This is Triveni Sangam, where Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati rivers meet. Experience faith. Experience culture.
Tent as well.
Experience Maha Kumbh. Only on WION. World is One.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
Amid escalating violence in the eastern regions of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Congolese army announces significant military gains against the M23 rebel group, with Rwanda's Paul Kagame calling for dialogue. Benin celebrates Vodun Days, a festival centered around the arts, culture and spirituality of the voodoo cult, where women are the mainstay of the festivities. And Senegal aims to promote their culture using toys like traditional wrestler figurines or dolls that come in a wide range of skin tones, including albino. That's this week on World of Africa, at these times on WION, World is One.
WION, India's global voice. The channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Hello there, welcome back. You're watching WION World is One. Time now for Pulse. I'm Eric Njoka. Our top stories. Hamas and Islamic Jihad approved the Gaza truce deal, says Palestinian source close to the ongoing talks in Qatar. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office continues to reject the report. Indian Coast Guard responds to distress call from Lakshadweep administration, rescues missing boat Mohammed Qasim 2 with 54 passengers that was on its way from Kavarati to Suhelipar Island. Ten days after the announcement in Delhi during US President Biden's NSA Jake Sullivan's visit, the US removed 3 Indian entities, the BARC, the IGCAR, Indian Rare Earths, from the restricted list to boost civil nuclear cooperation. Bangladesh Constitution Reform Commission proposes replacement of the state principles of secularism, socialism and nationalism, submits report to interim government chief Mohammed Yunus.